continuing on the last tier, where we're
You're
apparently
only
only 52% done with the
52%
game.
finished.
Yep.
Oh, you're back
Because
in space.
remember, the game also counts relics, which is the time trial stuff, for its completion. Now, again, I'd like to point out something. Do you remember the plot of this game?
Yeah, I was thinking, oh, we've already talked about that 1,000 times. But yeah, we're in space, even though we're not supposed to be in space because we're shrunken and in someone's room right now.
Yeah, and the moon is right there.
And all the
On the
stars.
sides.
Like every single star.
Yeah, so again, the plot is literally just an excuse.
Yeah, I remember, and then I remember talking about Minish Cap. I said Minish Cap is a lot better.
Well, Minish Cap actually, not only does the plot lead to the levels, but it also leads to amazing mechanics.
I'm
This
sure
is
that
just a
there's
2D
going
crash
to be
game.
a box where you have to shoot into the air and go in the opposite direction.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I was about to say, what are you talking? Oh wait, no, that's my exact mentality. Honestly, since I don't remember this game like the back of my hand, it's a possibility, but I won't be able to tell you off the top of my head. Honestly, I remember the sequel to this game more than this one. I like the sequel much better. Has a much better structure and much better levels, in my opinion.
Yeah. But also, yeah, Minish Cap actually does great mechanics with shrinking.
Which is something. The thing is that if I were to make a game, apart from like the ideas I've given you, one of the ideas I've always wanted to use is people being shrunk, and natural environments being the level. Not just you're walking through a patch and there's some grass and you fight like an ant or something. But no, like, for example, you have to scale like a junk pile, just somebody's garbage pile. But because of so many things can be in garbage. There's so many things that could lead to the plat.
Oh,
That was
that's
a
just
trap.
ridiculous. Evil.
Yeah, there's so many things that could lead to the platforming. There's so many things you could fight as bosses, for example. It's really interesting, and Minish Cap is like the only story where I see that concept done.
In a video
And
game?
it's good because Minish Cap is a phenomenal game. Well, yeah, in a video game.
I mean,
It's
it
good
is
because
the best
Minish
2D
Cap is a
Zelda
phenomenal
game. Controversial
But it's
statement.
But
I mean, I
I
never
really
played
wish
Link
they could
Between
have done
Worlds,
more.
so
Whoa! Oh, right. I keep forgetting nitro boxes.
I've never played Link Between Worlds, and I haven't finished Link to the Past. Even though I think I
Well,
can still safely
of
say I
course,
like
I
Minish
hear
Cap more than Link
it's
to the Past, even though
good.
I haven't finished it.
And
I
I mean,
don't
I have a
think
3DS now.
finishing it is going to make me like it more than Minish Cap, because Minish Cap is so good.
Well, yeah, especially not only just with everything, but just like the world itself is so charming and the characters are so great. Either way. So I'm just gonna, well, this is space, so a lot of things are extremely scary here. But I've played this game for a while now, so I seem to know what I'm doing at the very least. Okay, if that thing like led me right back into the nitro stuff, just completely, that would have been the jerk move. What am I checking my options for? Oh well. I'm sure there's one level here where there's a secret that's right below the platform that I'm like, There's no conceivable way that a normal person would think to jump down there.
Maybe they expect it to fail.
Well, nah, but at the same time, I think it's just, no, I think it's one of the first space levels where they pull that crap. Also, it's funny how despite everything, you've never questioned the lore of why boxes are just scattered everywhere.
I mean, there's some things where coins everywhere in Mario, where rings everywhere in Sonic. That's something I just whatever.
Well,
It just
in
is.
the comics they explain that.
In the Sonic comics,
Yep.
why are there rings everywhere then?
Well, there's this. Basically, they're a power source that naturally occurs on the Earth. They're condensed into rings, by a magical lake that spits them out.
Okay.
Rings aren't absolutely everywhere, but I mean they're rare. But each one holds a whole bunch of power. Of course, nowhere near any Chaos Emerald power, but there is one issue where after Sonic collected 1 billion rings in his life, or was it 1 billion? It might have been 1 million or 1 billion, I forget. But he got warped to a higher plane of existence. And there's this guy, there's like, okay, Sonic, you're given the huge responsibility. Yeah, here, right there.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but it's just like, you're given this huge opportunity. Now, you will ask me any question. Just one though, and I will answer it. So he could ask like how to beat Robotnik, how to restore peace forever, and stuff like that. But instead, just like he's like, wow, just one question? Yes. And then he just sends it back. Barely hear you, bro.
A being that lives on a higher plane of existence.
I'm just going to pretend you're saying something very profound. Either way,
I'm saying that a being on a higher plane of existence would be saying that he would be smart enough to know that that doesn't count.
So yeah, that's true.
Or maybe he wants.
I guess that is true. Or maybe he's bound by the laws of that existence.
Yeah, he can't control it.
Yeah, but either way,
maybe he's so
if
smart
that issue came out,
that amazing questions are just as mundane as only one question, so he didn't see it as any different from a good question.
The thing is that if that issue like came out later, because this was a relatively early issue, if that issue came out later, that would be a supremely annoying plot thing. Because of how the story wraps up, and there's just so much more at stake. But yeah, that's the whole ring stuff. Of course, now I don't know what it's going to be, since the comic's going to get a reboot. Not only that, but they showed the preview for like issue 4. And Blaze the cat is there.
Right.
And not only that, but the new character drawn by Tyson, whatever you call his last name.
Chicken Nuggets.
Sure, why not? The same person behind the designs of the Sonic Mega Drive comic. Tangle the ring-tailed lemur.
Sounds really cool.
Yes, and her design's pretty cool. Oh, darn it! Yes, her design's pretty cool. But I'm like, okay, so is he his new sidekick? Is he helping her in a specific quest? Why is Blaze in issue 4?
Maybe they're saying that
I wonder
you
what
already
like
know the
lore
lore
and
enough.
such is gonna happen.
Let's just throw you right into it.
Maybe, but I doubt it, because even with IDW Transformers comics, they made their own specific lore as what happened. Sure, they didn't like try to go into origins of everything. Some things are immediately obvious if you just have any sort of idea of Transformers whatsoever.
Yeah, which I don't.
But with the stories, well, I've educated you in Devastation, so. But the stories in Sonic, at least in the comics, have always been easy to get into. But you need to. How do I put this? There's barely anything that would count for normal DC or Marvel bullcrap in terms of multiple story stuff that you can't possibly follow. Also, at this point, I'm like, okay, this doesn't make any sense. Am I going... Because the drop down there seems way too... low. So, I'm like... At this point, would I even be able to get back up here if I dropped?
I mean, it's always a risk to take.
Apparently that's why they put the box stairs there.
Yeah, exactly.
So now this level wants me to go all the way to the nitro detonator.
This level wants you to...
What the heck happened? Oh, I probably bounced back to a place where I completely forgot something. Yep. This was probably back when I was terrible at editing.
It's funny when you do something else of order and you're like, oh wow, this is how the voice recorder used to sound? Teen Titans playthrough?
Well, Teen Titans playthrough is more recent than you think.
Probably.
I wonder how much things I skipped inadvertently with that. Hopefully not a lot. Maybe the footage got corrupted? I don't know. I recorded this a long time ago.
Well, I mean, basically.
Also, Earth is right there, by the way.
So, I mean, I assume that the space levels are on a satellite rather than on Earth.
Yes, but I'm saying that. Remember the whole Earth is small thing?
Yeah, I mean,
while
who
we
cares?
are of that. Clearly, they didn't.
Yeah, if they didn't, why should we?
Also, I have to do this precisely. They really ask a lot of you in some of these later levels. Of course, my problem is the Death Spin Tornado move doesn't always work. So sometimes I just seem like I'm accidentally just like jumping off to my untimely demise. Then there's these things where I have to destroy them individually with 5 bounces. At least it's not like in Crash 1 where you could only do it with 10.
Oh my god. That sounds incredible.
Yeah, I think you were supposed to Death Tornado spin after that, but I just used the Advanced Body Slam to use the Shockwave to get them out of my hair.
I was supposed to say, was Crash 1 was not 2D, I'm assuming.
No.
Well, that's still 10 times to jump on it.
Wait a minute, the Nitro Detonator is in the bonus level? Okay.
Is that not normal? I mean, not standard, but
No! Remember, the nitrogen detonator's been outside of the level just like at the end.
yeah,
So
but
now it's
this
in
this
the
game's
bonus
trying to
level.
mix things up near the end.
Yeah, so now I have to backtrack to get those boxes that I missed.
I mean, good luck.
You say good luck like I wouldn't have recorded this if I didn't already do it. Oh wow, so there's this random skip that was just above that platform level.
I mean, that's good for me because that seems like the second time I've said that's good for me because I had no follow up to it in this playthrough.
I mean, the obvious follow-up would be when I do the game, but I don't think this is any of your alley. You're a puzzle platformer guy, I understand, but this doesn't seem like your kind of...
No, this definitely seems more like an action puzzle. This is an action platformer trying to do puzzle platforming. This is like if Mega Man tried to play, I don't know, Zelda 2.
I'm trying to think of a certain example here, but... I'm sure like some random level
This is like if Super Meat
that's more
Boy
puzzle
tried to play
oriented
a
in Mega Man
version.
X. Oh. I wonder if you should... Nah. Because the whole Super Meat Boy Endless Runner thing... I mean, it's more... The moveset reminds me of Rayman, with how the physics go. But it's more so that I feel that... How do I put this? It's fun, but I kind of like the first format better.
Ouch.
Well, that wasn't related to anything I
No,
just
I
said.
just moved in a really awkward way, and the whole part of my body that's currently sprained just said say ouch instead of what you're supposed to say. And I obliged because I'm a nice guy.
Huh. You know, whenever I make efforts to the fact that you're insane or that you're not all there, I'm just like, you know what? Maybe I'm being too hard on the joke. Then you say things like these, are like, nope, I'm completely correct here.